Let's talk about how I can be broke but have a successful businesses and other successful ventures, because many people are not understanding it. So just take a few minutes out of your time and listen. Yes, I run a very, very, very successful barbershop. We have about 12 barbers here, right? 2 junior barbers and senior barbers, and the shop is at about 80% capacity right now. So doing well. We have back-end staff. Everybody gets paid on time every month. The business is running well. I own several properties. I own 3 to be exact. The one which I live in, which is on a mortgage, and 2 other ones that I rent out. The rental price is more than what I pay in the mortgage, so they are in profit too. So how can all these things be running well and I'm being successful but still be broke is what many of you are asking. Let me explain it to you. Yes, these things are going very well. But to get these things to the place where they're at right now, it cost a lot of money, and money that I didn't have, which meant that I had to borrow a lot of money. To open up this shop, it cost over £200,000. I paid about £60,000 to buy the lease of the previous tenants. Then I had to put down a deposit of about £18,000, which they keep until the end of the lease. So that's just money gone. So that's basically £80,000 gone. The works cost about £130,000 to maybe £140,000. All of this money was borrowed. So it has to be paid back. So regardless of how well the business is doing, I still have to pay back all that money. On top of that, when I got to a stage in this business where it started making some profits, so let's just say as an example, it started making like £2,000 profit a month, right? Where I was paying back the debts every month, everybody was getting paid, and we had £2,000 spare. What I started doing was making sure to reinvest that money back into the business, because I saw it as there's no point of me just taking that money out and spending it now when there's 3-4 chairs available. So instead what I did was I hired a barber, I trained them up, and I paid them the money every month so that they could support their lives, but at the same time, they could get paid. So they could support their lives, they're getting paid, and they could be getting trained up. So when they got to a place where now they're able to earn money and they're switching over to percentage splits and so on and so on and so on, right? Then it was like, okay, cool. That £2,000 will no longer pay you, and now you're making money to the business. So now the business is making maybe £3,000 a month. But then I still saw it as, well, we've got another 2 free chairs. So why should I take that money out? Let's reinvest it back into the business. Let's hire another barber and train them up and pay them. And then we were at maximum capacity, and it's like, okay, great, all 8 chairs are filled. So yes, now I can start taking money out. No, because I was like, there's still another 2-3 spaces we can add to the shop. So let's actually take out a bit of extra money or save some of the money and do some works to the shop. Now we've got 3 chairs available. Let's get another barber in. Let's pay the barber. We're also paying back maybe the builders and so on. So basically, do you understand what I'm saying? I'm basically just not taking the money out. I'm putting the money back in. And then even when we got to capacity where it's, okay, cool, all these barbers are working, I'm like, well, we need a receptionist. So to pay a receptionist, that is a job that doesn't directly bring back money to the shop. So if the business is making £3,000 a month in profit, it's like, okay, cool, let's put that over there into the receptionist area. So now that money's gone again. It's just a cycle in a sense of, but we're upscaling at every stage. But it is doing well. The business is making money, but we're just not taking the money out, because to me, it made no sense to take any money out of the shop until it was at its full capacity and reached its full potential. So even now, all the chairs are basically filled, but I'm in a place where it's like, okay, well, let's knock through the wall and build another 4 chairs at the back. So any money that the business starts making, we're going to put it back into there. So I just saw it as, I'm not going to really take any money out until this business is at its full capacity. And that's the reason as to why it'll be like, okay, well, the business is doing well, but I'm broke. Why? Because I'm not taking any money out of the business until I see it as, okay, great, we've done everything we can do in this business. Now let's just start taking out the money, right? And then, let's start getting all the profits. And I will benefit a lot from it. So when I'm telling people I'm broke, it's not for pity. It's not for donations. It's just showing people, like, look, you can have a successful business and still have no money. Okay, I've got properties. Yes. But those properties which I bought cost money to run, cost money to renovate. And the money to run is not an issue actually. The renovation costs maybe. So where I live right now, right, we underwent a heavy renovation. Like we knocked out everything and rebuilt it, right? It costs a lot of money. Some of the money we had, and then some of the money, or majority of the money, we borrowed, right? And now that's an investment into living. That's not an investment that pays in return in money, but is into living. So I'm not gonna see returns from what we did to our house. But the way I saw that was, we work to live. So the money which we put into that house and the money which I borrowed to put into that house was for our comfort, was the investment for comfort, how we wanted it to live, the space which we want, the way we want it to look. That is the investment solely. So money's not going to come back from that, although we could get money back from that if we sold it. But I always think it's important for people to understand the end goal. You're not working just for money. You're not working just to collect money so you can say, I've got loads of money. You're working to get money to put it into something for the lifestyle that you want to live. Whether it's the food you want to eat, whether it's the people you want to help, whether it's the area you want to live in, whatever it is, right? But there's a goal and it has to do with something with the way you want to live, right? So that's there is a kind of an investment that's not going to see money, but it's cost me all the money we have and more, right? No pity towards me. It was for our own doing. We done that. We want to live that way, right? Cool. The other properties we have, they do bring in money, right? And they do bring in profits. The way those profits work though is those profits go towards the mortgage in the place that we live. Because we got a high mortgage. But the way I saw it was with the 3 properties was, let's say my mortgage is £4,000 a month, right, where we're living, right? But I earn 1,500 for one of the properties and I earn 1,500 from the other property as example. So we make £3,000. We just put that into the mortgage where we're living. And then if our mortgage is £4,000, we only pay £1,000 towards the mortgage. So there's no money really being made there. It's just all going within that kind of like, that circle, right? And this is the reason as to why I could be having multiple assets, flourishing business and still be broke. And this is the reason why I still decline on my cards when I'm out. This is the reason why I search for pennies and pounds to pay invoices. Is because where I'm at right now, there's more money going out than coming in. And that's because I've overextended myself. And in everything which I've done, I've always overextended myself to get the things which I wanted to get. Because they were never in my reach. And I never had like not support system. I never had like money, I never came from money, right? And I'll be honest, even with the barbershop, right? Plenty of people wanted to invest. I decided not to take investment. Because one, I wanted to own it all because I had a vision for the way I wanted the barbershop to run. And I felt like it would have been distorted if I got other people involved. Also, I knew that people wanted to invest, right? But I knew as soon as the doors opened up, the value of the business would have gone up. So if I ever wanted to sell shares, it was always better to sell shares when the business was running and not before the business was running, right? So I never took any investment just so that my vision could be clear and it wouldn't be distorted by anybody else's views and so on. And that's the reason why I never took no investment. I could have. So that's why it's not pity me. It's not poor me in any way. I made a decision to take out all of those loans, right? And owe hundreds. Like right now, my debts, not including the mortgages, my debts are about £500,000, £500,000 to £600,000 because I've overextended myself. And I said, part of it is to do with the business, part of it is to do with where we're living, with a full renovation which we've done, and so on. But I'm in debt for good reasons. And to be honest, soon, like even the next few months, right, with the way things are working out, we'll be in very, very, very manageable debt. So it will be that less money's going out, more money's coming in than is going out. So it'll be okay. And this is just a brief explanation. I went into a bit of detail. I could talk for really about half an hour to an hour on this, but I hope this just makes sense for all of you that watched it right to the end as to how I could be running a very successful business, have multiple assets, but still be broke and still be declining and still be on the streets talking about, I haven't got enough money to get through the barriers on the train and so on, right? It's just because I've overextended myself for good reasons and it will pay dividends in the long run. And really not even in the long run, in a sense from where it all started from 5, 6, 7 years ago, right? But in the short term, because soon I'll be seeing the benefits. And that's the reason as to why I'm broke, but still very successful. Hopefully this has been helpful for you.